You face the boss of blades.
So this is Remy is Stinky versus Lucas, aka Evil Cat 2000. And this should be a pretty interesting match. Garruk, of course, being a very strong deck. And the winner of this match will go on to the semifinals and face against me. And then, of course, who wins that will go to the finals versus Fermenter, which is his first time being in the finals. Very excited for him. Evil Cat 2000 on Ral, which is a pretty interesting matchup, I believe. Ral being a Talaran Academy deck, but Remy is going second. He has Strike, he's got a Defiant, Dark Confidant, shuffling back the Strike and the Grudge Match. Personally, I would probably keep the Grudge Match, but that's fine. He does have an Overwhelming Tracker, so he can go turn 1 Consultant, turn 2 Dark Confidant, turn 3 Tracker to deal with the potential early thing in the ice. But Cat is going to go ahead and drop his Isochron Scepter for 1 mana thanks to the Talaran Academy. And Remy is just going to go ahead and straight up drop Dark Confidant and axe it. Going for trying to get Death Shadow out as early as possible. He does have the Wildspeaker's Fury to help to that, and also be some decent removal. Evil Cat's list does not actually have a lot of creatures, just 2 thing in the ice to get to Fire Mage. But there is a Spark of Genius. Evil Cat going in for a combo play, Tragic Slip, devastatingly taking out Dark Confidant, and a Magma Opus turn 2. That is very powerful turn 2, of course. So Remy is just going to go ahead and drop his Cranial, drop himself a Channeler as a 3/3. A lot of removal in his hand, but Evil Cat could have a lot of stuff to buff up his Mizium, though the Wildspeakers would definitely take care of it. Reclamation off of Scepter, and getting a Tragic Slip to take out this Cranial. Very resourceful. Doing a Mana Surge. So going back to 3 mana, 7/5 Mizium, going into the Scepter. Alabaster Face, so he's going to get at least 1 draw off of this. And pretty likely, that's a lot of damage. So he's either going to take it, try and drop Shadow very early, but if you Wildspeaker, he'll go to 5, and that would still be not very good. Like, he'd be able to drop a Death Shadow, but he'd be at 5. Veil Curse, not very useful here. Kind of got to go for it. Taking 10 on the Mizium. 8 mana Shadow so far. Evil Cat using the last charge in his Scepter. Tragic Slipping, absolutely very powerful here. Gets you Ember Mage. So likely he's just going to maybe drop the dude. I think I would just drop the dude or pass. I think it might just be better to just pass here because you kind of want to use the tracker with Death Shadow. Of course, it always happens. Talaran Academy triggering, shuffling a random artifact, denying a mana here. Scalper Stand, Thing in the Ice. And that is going to be very annoying for Evil Cat here because Veil Curse is going to be able to take out both the Thing in the Ice and to get to Ember Mage and still live on the board. Second Veil Curse in hand as well. Warning Flame, though, it hits the face. Face is the place, but it could have been basically the equivalency of a shock against this Veil Curse, though, rather than the Death Shadow more likely. Jolt of Inspiration off Spark is pretty big. That could potentially be a lot of stuff. Warding Flame hits the face again. Third spell, Abrade to take out the Veil Curse here. Putting Remy to 12. Now, Remy could just drop Death Shadow, he could drop Spike Baloth, and Detonator. Obviously, he just doesn't drop the Veil Cursed, so he's just going to go ahead, drop himself Death Shadow, threaten potential lethal. Just kidding. He's at 25 Evil Cat. He has not taken any damage here. Second trigger into Tolarian Academy. Yeah, the Remy is still very far away from the potential lethal here, but he is in range to drop Death Shadow at a reasonable cost. Change teams, though, is absolute insane off a Jolt. That is ridiculous. But land trigger for Remy. Potential Death Shadow for Evil Cat at some point. Just going ahead, dropping Chandler, just dropping a board. Chandler, Drana, and the Detonator. One Death Shadow left for Remy somewhere in his deck. Scalper Stand getting another draw. He's definitely got some cards here. Going up the board is very good in the case of like a Chaos Lightning. There is, of course, is that Chaos Lightning. Taking out just the Detonator, putting him to 5. Drana and Chandler living. Staff of Fortitude, which was, of course, an unfortunate draw that was shuffled in from the Tolarian Academy. Second land trigger for Remy here. Getting him a Bone Club Shambler, being able to hit in for 5 damage. And put Evil Cat's 20. Dropping the Baloth, dropping the Shambler, making himself a board. But let's go ahead and see what Evil Cat does here. His opponent being at 5 health. It's a pretty imposing board. Fire Mind at the face. And it looks like, yep, he has the shock. So that is a exact lethal from Evil Cat. Just going for face every single time. Which definitely worked out for him, taking the first game here in the quarterfinals. All right, so Remy, I believe, does not have a sideboard, so he's just going back in. And I guess Evil Cat did not side either because they're just back in. So it's time for game 2. It worked the first time. Let's see if it works the second time for Evil Cat here. Or sorry, so that it will work a second time for, yeah, Evil Cat 2000. New players here, still learning some names. Death Shadow, Detonator, sending back the tracker, keeping the grudge. Seems pretty good to me. Getting the Channeler on 1, very important. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and just drop himself a Channeler here. No Axe, because then it would potentially be shocked. Evil Cat taking his time, deciding on his play for turn 2 here. And he's just going to go ahead and pass it back. Taking 3, 4 damage now from the Channeler. And then Evil Cat's going ahead and drop the Detonator. Warding Flame. Puts the damage on the Detonator. Mana Search play. Let's go. Magma Opus. Third spell that could cost up to 3 gets the Divination. Putting it in. Gets himself the 5/3 Mizium here. However, of course, he can go and either Grudge Match and Shambler. Seems like a good play to me. Axe up the Detonator or the Channeler. I would definitely do the Detonator here because this opponent does have the Warding Flame. Hitting in for 10. Putting Evil Cat to 11 health on turn 4. Very aggressive start here from Remy. Looking to clutch up a win to tie the match. Scepter from Evil Cat. Looking for an answer to this kind of board. Alright, going for a spark. Let's see if he found what he's looking for. Unsummon on the detonator. That is a temporary out for now. Drain blood to take out the channeler. So, yeah, Remy's just going to go ahead and drop himself a Crab. Taking 6, axe it up. Drop himself a 4 mana 8/6 Trampler. Seems pretty good. Next turn, you can go for a Tracker plus Detonator. And then try and go for a Silent Strike win next turn. Thing in the ice, though. Can he get his 3 spells? Goes for the Anticipate. We know he has the Warding Flame that he could just go for. Put into the face. And then 2-cost spell, he has the Unsummon on the Crab, which will flip into a 5/4. So going for it. He could just Crab himself again and drop the Cranial Consultant. Or he could drop the Detonator and Tracker, I guess. That's probably pretty good. That does leave a thing on the board. So goes for that. Detonator plus Tracker. Taken 4. His opponent's down an Unsummon and a Warding Flame. Side an Axe. Which, yeah, another Warding Flame could just take it out. Twilight Academy now triggering. It's not turn 4, it's usually turn 5. Or not turn 5, it's usually turn 6. Always seems to trigger early, especially when you don't want it to. But, Lightning Helix, that could be pretty big here. Not taking any more damage on his opponent, but he does have the Death Shadow. And if it is not dealt with, Silent Strike will make this game. Does Evil Cat have an answer to a Death Shadow here? That is the question. Get to Ember Mage. And Suppress, that does temporarily stall the Death Shadow plan here. Cothapede potentially. Ember Mage, you could just drop the Crab. Maybe hit the Death Shadow if he doesn't do that. Yep. And then Detonator, I guess. Yep, that seems fine. Continuing to present a board for his opponent to potentially answer, making it so that Cast Lightning is less likely to hit the face, and still representing a potential lethal with Silent Strike next turn on the Death Shadow. And yeah, he does not have the out, so that will tie up this match 1-1, Remy versus Evil Cat. Alright, so now we are tied up, and let's go ahead and go to Game 3, Remy versus Evil Cat. And there are go. Right, Remy is going first. No 1-drops. He's got the Curse Bearer, Dark Confidant, Bone Club. Could potentially just keep this or try and go for a 1-drop. Decided to just keep it. Seems fine to me. Ral getting an extra card being pretty scary, I imagine. But looking like a pass for Remy on 1. Let's go ahead and see what Evil Cat has. Maybe that's the Scepter again. Yep, there is a Scepter here. And passing the turn back. Slamming down the Dark Confidant, passing the turn back. Learned his lesson, did not axe up in case of the completely random tragic slip. But it could be a shock. Could be a shock or an abrade, maybe. Yep, we got an abrade. Death Shadow draw. Very powerful here. Dropping the Drana. Fire Mind Bolt, taking out the Drana. just dealing with everything that Remy is playing without actually really losing any cards on it. It's just a lot of cards in hand. Warding Flame, hitting the face. Double Shamblers, hopefully 50-50, hitting the Curse Bearer. But Evil Cat does have a big 8-card hand here. He's got the Scalper Stand, taking the draw, getting the Scepter, going in the tank. Choosing the Shock on the Bone Club and passing it back. Second Death Shadow for him. Axing the Shambler, swinging in, dropping the Curse Bearer. Basically, as long as Evil Cat doesn't keep damaging Remy's health, those 2 Death Shadows will basically be dead while he sets up the board to try and go for lethal. And that might be what he's going to go ahead and try and do. But if he doesn't have outs to shadows, pressuring life total doesn't particularly make sense. Dropping thing in the ice. Tinkering. Ooh, Erratic Portal. That is a pretty interesting hit here, though I don't think he would really use it here. It is a very powerful artifact, though. Unsummon on the Bone Club. Going for a 3rd spell. Just going for a flip right away. Get ahead. Potentially, he could be having himself a... well, I mean, he could get a Veil Curse or anything. Who knows? There's a Veil Curse here for Evil Cat. Could just Veil Curse here. I think that's not too bad. Or go ahead and drop. Yep, he's dropping that. Shambler. Dropping the tracker. Trading the Shambler into Crab. And it looks like it buffed the Veil Curse here. So Veil Curse now is a 6/5. That's pretty good. Erratic Portal could potentially be really good, but Evil Cat doesn't really have a lot of creatures. So, got the Spike Below. Divination. Passing the turn back. So, I think the obvious play here is obviously just Veil Curse here. Because there's no reason not to Veil Curse. Your Veil Curse is going to live because it's a 6/5. Then a creature died. Can accept the Curse Bearer, swing in for 8. And yeah, you already know what they got from the get ahead. They got the Spike Bailoff, and the Spike Bailoff's already out. Warding Flame hitting the Curse Bearer. Fortunately, did not get the free kill off the Veil Curse, but he still could do it on the Veil Curse here. Warding Flame on the Veil Cursed. Divination. And so he could play a 5th spell. He could be Chaos Lighting on Summon. Yep, there's again Summon. Second Unsummon is out. And then he drops himself the Ember Mage. Axing up, swinging in. Yeah, may as well block this, I believe. Then he's going to go ahead and drop himself Cranial. May as well just drop the whole board. Drop the Dark Confidant, drop the Curse Bearer, drops the Cranial. Tolaran Academy triggers, though it does not actually particularly matter mana-wise right now. Evil Cat's deck is very low to the ground. Firemind Bolt, taking out the Dark Confidant. Mana Surge play, let's see. What does he have? Mind Magnifier. Anticipate. Digging for something here, yeah? So he is going to live this turn, at the very least. Going down to 7. He does have Mind Magnifier. Dropping the Cranial. And let's go ahead and see what Evil Cat does here with his Mind Magnifier. Obviously, the good play here would be Chaos Lightning. Trigger Chaos Lightning again. But at that point, you might be potentially having Death Shadows at play. There's the Chaos Lightning, so he is going for a Chaos Lightning play here. Does not full clear the board. Adding the second Chaos Lightning, which should definitely be able to clear the board here. Putting Death Shadows at 3 mana apiece. And getting rid of the Erratic board, which doesn't really do much here. And dropping a Heron's Charm that was added from the Tolarian Academy, which can give him cards that heal. But I think the obvious play here is just drop both your Death Shadows. Drop your... Okay, well, he's just dropping 1 Death Shadow and just giving it the sneak right away. Interesting. That makes it, an obvious target. Like, if he has the answer, then you're out of Silent Strike. So, Heron's Charm. Digging with Scalper Stand could potentially just have the play here. Thing in the Ice. Okay, so he has a 50-50 shot as moment to stun the Death Shadow. Magma Opus. Second Magma Opus. Does he have the shock or something? Fatal Infection. It does... It stuns the Death Shadow, and Fatal Infection will corrupt it and destroy it during Evil Cat's next turn. That does put him in a lot of a bind here. Sound Strike was definitely a preemptive play. I'm pretty sure here you just drop the Death Shadow. You're going to lose your second Death Shadow, so you may as well grudge match it, take out the 5/5 Mizium. And you may as well axe the Curse Bearer and swing in and force him to block with the 5/4 here. So, very close match. 1 shadow has been defeated for Remy. Does Remy have something to deal with this shadow, or play a few spells and give it some kind of evasion? Is the get to Ember Mage. Suppress. Ooh, that does stun the Death Shadow here. Warding Flame at the face. Getting the attack, and yep, that will allow him, just showboating here. He has got the Mana Surge. He does have the game. Evil Cat, complete upset, taking the 2-1 victory.